Welcome into week 5 of our Game of the Week reveal show. Sydney, we're already over a month in, and football season is getting crazy and crazy. How was your Game of the Week last week?
Oh my gosh. Well, I went to McGregor, Gatesville, and then I tried to go to Crawford, Axtell. Sorry, we didn't make it. Okay, first of all, Crawford, round of applause to you and the amount of people that come out to Pirates Stadium. I had to park a half mile away. By the time I finally got over there, I just couldn't get on. I barely got onto the field. There were 7 seconds left before half, and I just couldn't stick through half. So, Crawford, we tried. We'll be back.
We'll get out to a Crawford game at some point.
100%. It was also their homecoming, which didn't help. There was so many people there. But Gatesville looked so good. McGregor, they had some good moments, but Gatesville's defense is just so legit, and that really just showed time and time again in that game. One of the Player of the Week nominations was for Larry Schwarner. I have no idea. I'm just calling him Big Man Larry because this guy just lays everybody
Larry speaks
out.
for himself with his play on the field.
That's enough. Yeah, he dominant. He had 4 sacks in the first half of the game, but 2 while I was there, and I was like,
it was at the very beginning of the game, too.
Very beginning.
Yeah.
What a way to, set the tone and make a statement. And then I wasn't at our Game of the Week last week, but Adrian was there for the Little River Academy versus Salado game. Congratulations to the Bumblebees on their first win of the season.
Big win, too.
Big win. First win for Coach Tycoon over there. So awesome to see them get the win on the road. Salado's homecoming, so they spoiled their homecoming. And it was just a back and forth battle between those two, especially in the first half. Adrian kept texting me. He was like, this is the best game I've ever been to. They just keep scoring touchdowns. And I was like, I told you that was what's going to happen, Adrian. You're going to get a lot from this one. So, yeah, just such a fun week last week.
Yeah.
But now the slate's clean, Ethan. None of those games matter because that was all non-district play. Now a lot of these teams are going into this week ready for district with that everybody's 0-0 mindset. Nobody's technically won a game because those ones don't matter. These are the ones that matter from here on out.
Yeah, and we kind of mentioned last week as well. I was out at A&M, and A&M consolidated in College Station. It's all the same out there to me. Wow, that was the best student sections I've seen.
Really?
Yes.
You
could tell it was a rivalry game, and
For
both
sure.
student sections were into it. They had a bunch of signs out there just getting rowdy for the game as well, and it was a good
awesome.
one. College Station did lose that one, but they made it competitive at least.
For sure. I think anytime you have those rivalry games, even if you're not off to your best start, you're still going to get your best effort from those teams. And yeah, that one's just a classic. I was like, Ethan, I'm sorry to make you drive all the way to College Station.
No, it was fine.
But I'm so glad you did. I know they appreciated it over there as well, too. So what a good week.
Yeah, and we're, like you said, we're going into district play now, and we kind of have a semi-rivalry game going on for our Game of the Week. A little hint, hint.
I want to preface by saying picking a Game of the Week for this week was probably one of the hardest weeks. It's always hard, but it just keeps getting harder. There are so many great games, so many undefeated teams getting ready to go against other undefeated teams, and all of that's about to not matter anymore because somebody's about to get a loss and somebody's about to really prove who they are here in week 5. But yeah, for this one, it came down to 2 teams who share some bad blood with each other, who always make it a contest, or at least they have over the last couple years, and now we're ready to see them be put to the test. Should we reveal it, Ethan?
Yeah, let's just roll it.
All right.
Without further ado.
He said it best, Ethan.
Yeah, are you not entertained?
You should be.
I was entertained last year because this game was a good one last season as well. Yeah. Harker Heights ended up winning that one 34-26. This game is going to be at Midway. Yeah. Harker Heights, they are coming off back-to-back losses against Dripping Springs and Midlothian. Sydney, what can the Knights do to kind of get back on track here at the right time when district play starts?
Yeah, well, I had the chance to talk to head coach Mark Humble earlier today, and he kind of just says there's nothing we really need to do to flip the script. Like, we know who we are. We're still Harker Heights. Our team has learned from last week. That was something that he had mentioned to me, but he knows no matter what, it's going to be a fight. He literally said, be prepared for our knockout, drag-out fight because you're going to get the best from both of these teams. He knows that Midway is a super balanced team in every way. But what better way to start off district play than taking on a team that you have a lot of history with? It's usually Harker Heights and Midway kind of battling right there to be the top dogs of this division. And now they're going to go head-to-head to start off district play. It doesn't get bigger than that. Coach knows, though, this is a really good chance to kind of clean the slate, but he's got nothing but full confidence in his team heading into this one.
Everyone's 0-0, and I wouldn't say it's anything that we're not ourselves. We're still Harker Heights, and we've played a really tough non-district schedule. Dripping Springs regional final team, Midlothian 5A regional final team. So we learned a lot, and we learned that we can't make critical mistakes at critical times in big ball games. And so now we get a fresh start. Our team has learned, and we've been in this position before because all that matters now is district play.
I just love the confidence from Coach Humble. He's like you said, nothing matters now. Mm-hmm. We're into district play.
Yeah, you'll feel that from Coach Gillespie as well. I could feel like they're both so polite and so kind, but I'm like, I know there's a chip on your guys' shoulders. Like, you could feel it from both of them. I wanted to point out, too, I like what Coach said, too, about the last two teams they played. Dripping Springs being a really good contender who went deep in the playoffs last season, and then Midlothian, another really good powerhouse in 5A. So those weren't easy games. And he even told me at practice, too, he was like, we don't ever want to play a cupcake schedule in non-conference. Like, we're going to give it our all and really be tested. And I think there's a lot to be learned and to take away from that. I think there's a lot of frustration with Harker Heights right now, just being so close. I know they're battling through a couple injuries, but working through that and just continuing that next man up mentality is going to be huge for them going into Friday night.
Yeah, and the thing is, even though those might be losses, that's toughening them up for district play.
Sure.
But on the flip side, Midway, I know I said it in our countdown to kickoff special that this is a season where I want to see them take that next step. Under second-year head coach Joe Gillespie, familiar with him from his time at TCU as the defensive coordinator. But the highlight has not been the defense for Midway. They're averaging 48.5 points per game right now through 4 games. What is going on with this offense, and what can we expect from them, Sydney?
Well, part of it helps when you've got 2 lethal running backs like they have between Lathan Wissington and then Jaden Fields Vaughn, I think is his last name. Jaden, we just call him Jaden and Lathan.
Speaks for himself again.
The 1-2 punch they deliver, they're just a threat. I actually asked Coach Gillespie about that at practice today, and he was like, yeah, even though he was like, I'm very defensive-minded, but I wouldn't, if I played defense, I would not want to go up against those guys. He was like, they're so lethal, and we've seen that time and time again. I think we're really seeing a lot from Andrew McNair, their quarterback, start to really get into rhythm, but last week was not a perfect week for him. Interceptions seemed to be an issue for them. Midway was trailing in this game by as much as 20 points, and then they come all the way back to beat Mansfield 42-34. That's huge. You talked about the offense right there, though. It seems like they were able to turn it around when they needed to. And I think that that's going to have to be something that they're going to carry with them going into the Harker Heights game. But Coach Gillespie, he's got a lot of confidence going into this one. And he says having a game like last week's will only help them to start off district play.
Well, obviously, I like being 4-0. And, we got a lot of momentum. Last week was a big win for us, big comeback win. And I think the kids have been playing very hard, in those 4 non-district games, kind of tune-up games for us. We've kind of been in every situation possible. And they've responded. Coaches have done a great job of preparing them. But we needed to win that game for a lot of reasons. It has no district implications. It has no playoff implications. But it has momentum and confidence implications. And so, I think these young men, the biggest thing that I can say about them is they don't panic, obviously, and says a lot about the maturation process that they've had to go through and all that business. So this is going to be a huge game. Obviously, Harker Heights owns the go ball, and they're the defending district champs, and we'd certainly like to take that one first step forward to maybe bringing it back to Midway.
Yeah, the confidence was just radiating there from Coach Gillespie. And what I like that he said is that they don't panic. You mentioned the comeback last week. Not panicking is huge, especially as you get into district play.
For sure. It helps that they have so many seniors. We mentioned Lathan, who is only a junior, but their quarterback, a senior guy, a vet who's been able to sit behind some other guys and really, take his time to approach and to figure out the offense. And that's what those first 4 weeks was all about. And not panicking in moments when you're down and still coming all the way back. Mansfield is a team they lost to last season.
Yeah.
They could have easily thrown in the towel and had the same thing happen that happened last year, but they didn't. And I think that speaks a lot to the leadership of this group and where they're going right now as an offense. It takes a little bit to click and to get there. And they did that. So I'm excited for Midway.
They look good.
What a start they've had, like you said. They do look so good right now. And Coach G, obviously, his voice was so raspy there.
I was going to say, he's definitely been yelling a little bit.
Yes. He told me for the first time last week he tried a medicine ball from Starbucks. He said it's so disgusting, which I agree. I do not like the medicine ball, but it's helping his voice. But you can tell, he's so in it, and I love that. But yeah, no, his voice is gone. And I love that in a coach, though. I'm like, I want a raspy voice after a game, or it wasn't a fight. I think you're going to see a really big fight on Friday.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a lot of big fights around Central Texas. Also, you mentioned it was hard to pick game of the week. What are some other games that we can kind of look forward to this week that we'll be out and covering?
Well, the battle of the unbeatens between Shoemaker and Temple right here in Temple. Oh my gosh, Shoemaker looks so good right now. Their offense off the charts. It is so good. Whitney and Little River Academy. Whitney's a team that's put up so many points to start off the season. And Little River Academy hosting them coming off of their first win of the season. That's going to be a really big win,
and it feels like they shouldn't be 1-3 either. All their games have been so close.
So close. So they're going to give them a really good fight. University versus Lampasas. Do you remember this game by any chance last year, Ethan? I'll refresh your brain if you don't.
Go ahead, refresh.
Okay, it ended on a game-winning touchdown from Savoy Nichols to Baylor commit London Smith. That's how they beat Lampasas. Gave Lampasas, I believe it was their first loss of the season last year. These two, they battle when they're out there. Two electric offenses between the two of them, but Lampasas, they're so packed with defense. Same with University, and I think we really saw that in that China Spring game. We didn't see it so much against Shoemaker, but the amount of sacks that Devontre Kirkland was able to pick up against China Spring, unreal. I think he had 4 total in that game, which is just unreal, especially against a good China Spring team too. But yeah, and then Gatesville, they're going to be hosting Burnett.
I think it's Burnett.
I think you're right.
I love Sydney trying to make her way through all the Central Texas
I'm doing my best.
Names.
I have to.
It's my favorite mini segment.
We'll get there one day. And honestly, if you just say it with confidence and say it with a little bit of twang, usually you're okay.
You're usually on the right track there. But literally, I think most of these games could have been our game of the week too. That's what's
easily.
You definitely were not lying
insane.
about that.
Yeah, no, so many really, really good matchups. Talking about Gatesville again, though, they're going to honor their 2000 state champions, so the class that won in 2000, which is going to be really cool. So a lot of special things going on at all of these games as well too. And just one more time, Harker Heights and Midway being our game of the week. Such a good matchup. There's just so much between these two that we've seen over the last couple years. It had to be.
It's a premier matchup, and there's no way we really couldn't have picked them to put under the spotlight this week. But we have a lot more going on this weekend as well as far as programming. We got KCEN kickoff tomorrow. Yep. Of course, our Friday Night Lights coverage, which we've kind of previewed here today
and the
on
trophy
Friday.
to hand out on Friday night too.
Of course, Adrian will be out there with the trophy, getting lit with everyone as he always does. And then on Saturday, Saturday, we have a couple games. Baylor looking to get back on track against Oklahoma State. They should be able to win that one. I would think if Tulsa can beat Oklahoma State, then Baylor should be fine there. And then Auburn's heading back to Central Texas to take on Texas A&M. They played Baylor in week 1, but they got the Aggies looking to stay undefeated again this week. And then Sunday Night Football right here on KCEN, big one.
Yeah.
Packers, Cowboys, Micah Parsons returns to Dallas. We'll see if the Cowboys can get back on track, get to 2-2. The Packers had a crazy loss. They knocked me out in Survivor. Packers lost to the Browns, so that was definitely...
That was an insane
Week
game.
3 was kind of insane, but we have a lot of football planned here for the week, as we always do here on KCEN and on 6+. But that's going to do it for me, Sydney. I'm excited for Friday.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be so good. I wish we could go to every single game. Like, if we had enough people to go to every single game across Central Texas, we would do it.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so many good ones going on. Can't wait to
But
get back
yes,
out
we
there.
will see you guys out at Midway on Friday. That's going to do it for us. Thank you for watching.
Friday Night Lights Game of the Week is sponsored by Astound, Members Choice Credit Union, and Hillsborough Ford.